G'day there guys, quirky Australian man here. It's your main man Markee and welcome back to another episode of r/AmiTheA. Now, I know you guys love this content, so I want you to subscribe if you haven't already. Subscribe button down below. But no, like the video if you haven't, sit back, relax, chuck a prawn on the barbie, and as always, have a good time. Thank you. Posted by user LaughPhysical269. Titled, Am I the a-hole for asking my roommate to be more polite towards my guests? So I, 20 female, live with Erica, 27 female. She's usually nice and cleans up after herself and all that stuff, but we had an issue recently. Last week, a guy, Josh, 21 male, that I'm seeing, came over sometime in the evening. When he arrived, she was in the kitchen cooking some kind of curry. Josh and I went up to my room almost right away, and once we got up there, he sort of awkwardly said that he absolutely hates the smell of curry, can't really be around it because it makes him want to barf, and he had to leave. The last time before that when Josh slept over, apparently Erica was blowing her nose an ungodly number of times in the morning. He could hear it because her room shares a wall with a bathroom, and it grossed him out a ton. Apparently, he also heard her fart super loud when he went to the bathroom late at night once too. Basically, he thinks she's super gross, and as a result, can barely stand to be at our house. We've actually had discussions about getting serious, but he said the Erica thing is holding him back from it since he didn't feel like he could date me if he didn't think I had the kind of friends that he'd want to be friends with or set up with his friends. This morning, Josh came over, and Erica was hard-boiling eggs, and again, the kitchen smelled like farts, and he had to leave. I confronted Erica about trying to be a little less loud and cook less smelly food all the time, because I feel like it's really rude towards Josh that she's literally making him so uncomfortable that he needs to drive back to his house 25 minutes away and waste all that gas. To my surprise, Erica, who is normally calm and polite, I've never seen her mad before. Even when I accidentally ruined some of her expensive kitchen stuff, she didn't even ask me to pay for it because accidents happen, you know? She got really angry and said that she wasn't going to adjust her whole life for random people that I'm sleeping with. I was really hurt by the random people comment because it's not like I'm sleeping with different strangers all the time, and told her all the things that Josh had said about her just being generally disgusting, like with the nose-blowing sounds and the farting, and she said her bodily functions were going to happen like it or not. I was still hurt, and told her that it was no wonder she was still single at her age, that she couldn't show basic respect to other people, and also said the thing Josh said about not wanting to be serious with me because he thinks I surround myself with bad and impolite people. Erica then said, the reason he isn't committing to you has nothing to do with me. It's because you're gullible enough to believe him when he feeds you crap like that. Once again, I'm not changing my life or magically stopping my bodily functions because of someone who has not said more than 2 words to me at a time. I basically just walked away crying at how much it had escalated, and now I'm posting here. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I might be the a-hole because supposedly I'm asking my roommate to adjust her whole life, not cook smelly food, not fart and blow her nose super loud, to make my friend more comfortable at my house. I feel like Erica's right with this one. He literally sounds like a child that can't handle girls existing as humans, and is using her as an excuse not to commit. Sure, it's gross, but it's natural, and she's not doing it with the intent to piss anyone off, and it's not like any of the things she's doing are out of the ordinary. Josh, on the other hand, is doing things with the intent to piss Erica off and acting like a child once again. I can see how OP is defending him if she's known for being gullible, but really, that's no excuse to be attacking Erica for it, especially if Erica forgave OP for destroying something that was expensive. Like, come on, she's giving you so much leeway. Ultimately, I'm gonna go with Josh and OP are the a-hole here. That part's pretty damn obvious, isn't it? Now in the comments, Sherilyn Fen Fatal says, "You're the a-hole. In my estimation, it's Josh who was rude by attempting to force Erica to behave to his standards in her own home. Then you sweep in and try to enforce and tell her all the ugly things he's said about her. Like she should give a damn about your fuck buddy's opinion, other than to say, there's the door. If Josh cares so much about smelly food and Erica simply existing, being herself, then maybe you should go to him instead of him coming over. And OP replies, he lives with his parents, so my house is the only option. Very high and mighty for a guy who doesn't even have his own place to live to say you're not good enough to date because he doesn't see your roommate as someone to set his bros up with. Also, Erica is not an object to be handed over to his friends. What the hell? And he's 21, while Erica is 27. Why would she even want to date someone in his friend group? So you want your roommate to live differently in her home because some guy you want to get serious with thinks she's gross. You're the a-hole. Edit, title is super misleading. Was she impolite by being in her own room and cooking food and minding her own business? And OP replies, she's impolite because she's not willing to be more courteous to guests, and I feel like she could blow her nose a little quieter, or maybe cook strong-smelling food at less inconvenient times. These are not reasonable requests. It's not impolite to cook dinner at dinner time just because your not boyfriend doesn't like the smell. As someone with occasional sinus issues, we can't effing control how loud it is. If the sinus is clogged, it needs to be unclogged. You're the a-hole. You're asking your rent-paying roommate to walk on pins and needles just so you can have a guest over who contributes nothing to the household. It isn't your roommate's fault if your boyfriend can't stand the smell of curry or cooked eggs. Honestly, it sounds like even if she stops doing the things you have already asked her to do, your boyfriend will just come up with more things he doesn't like. I'd be willing to bet she is already on edge wondering what your boyfriend is going to complain about next. Something to consider. You describe your roommate as calm and polite, whom you have never seen mad before. Yet you and your boyfriend have managed to drive her into getting that mad at you. That on its own should tell you something. And OP replies, I suspect she might have just been jealous or like, it's a sore subject that I'm seeing someone regularly and she isn't. I'm pretty sure if she wanted to find a date, she could. You need to realize not everyone wants to date or gets jealous because they see someone else sleeping with people. Once you get older, you'll realize that. Yup, I'm the same age as Erica and realized that my dating pool is getting smaller because my standards for potential partners are much higher than they were when I was 20. Trust me, there's no way she feels jealous about you sleeping with this loser. If anything, she probably pities you. You're the a-hole. Posted by user Tara the Terrible. Titled, Am I the a-hole for buying my daughter boy shoes after my mother-in-law refused to? So my 39 female, daughter 6 female, went shoe shopping with her grandmother. My mother-in-law, 71 female, to pick out new shoes. She initially picked out a pair of Spider-Man shoes, as Spider-Man is currently her favorite superhero after watching Into the Spider-Verse a few times. Her grandmother said no, told her they were boys' shoes, and forced her to go to the other section to choose another pair. My daughter told her, and myself after she got home, that clothes are not for boys or girls and that anyone can wear whatever clothes they want. She was upset she couldn't get the shoes she actually wanted, which is something I've taught her and told her more than once. So on another night, we were in the same store, and I told her she could get the shoes she wanted because I figured, if I'm going to teach her these things, I better be willing to back her up when she takes a stand on them. When we took them to her grandmother's house to bring to school the next day, they'd drop her and her twin sister off at school every morning. There was no avoiding this. I could tell my mother-in-law wasn't pleased, and later she called my wife to say that I was caving into a child and that she wouldn't buy my daughter shoes again. This might be the best solution in the long run regardless. But I felt my daughter gave a reasonable argument, in my mind, why she should be able to wear the shoes she wanted, and I felt I should support her if I'm teaching her these principles in particular. But am I the a-hole? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I might be the a-hole because I caved into a 6-year-old versus an adult, and I think my mother-in-law might view this as having undermined her to my daughter as well. How can you read all that back to yourself and not think that the mother-in-law is just being a toxic bear? Like, I get that she was born in the 50s and a lot of those gender stereotypes were forced on her back in the day, but wouldn't you remember how you felt back then and want to move forwards in treating your own children and grandchildren better? It honestly baffles me how OP has to come here and ask if she is in fact being the a-hole in this situation. It's her own child. She can do what she wants with them. The mother-in-law isn't the parent. She has no authority in this situation, so there's no way that OP is undermining them. This child is 6 years old, like, they don't need to think about gender roles like that if they want to wear some Spider-Man shoes. This is just so overcomplicated and such unnecessary drama from a spiteful woman with nothing else to do. I would pay her no mind and tell her if she's got a problem, then just keep it to herself, or there'll be consequences. Not the a-hole OP. Now in the comments, firmly that guy says, not the a-hole. You reinforced your parenting choices. You didn't cave to your daughter. Beats caving to a grandmother with her internalized misogyny. I'm a grown woman and always liked the more boyish colors when I was growing up. Blues and greens, and the darker the better, please. The 10-year-old loves that you took your daughter to get those shoes and are letting her be herself. I'm still grateful that my mother was like this and never tried to force me to be someone I wasn't. You sound like a great dad, not the a-hole. I'm a grown woman and shop on both sides of the store. Why restrict myself? Plus, women get like no pockets. Not the a-hole. You did exactly what you should have done. I'd be tempted to ask her, and what part of her shoes require a penis to use? But I wouldn't. Pfft. Everyone knows boys need space in their shoes for their massive testicles, hence the gendered sections in shoe stores. Not the a-hole. You're the parent, not your mother-in-law. Her outdated gender rules about clothing are just that. The only other person who has a say is your wife, and I'm guessing she agrees with you, which is why there was no, my wife was also pissed about the shoes. And OP says, she is supportive, but tends to have boundaries with her mum. She usually caves to pressure from her. I try to stay out of it and let her manage her family when it doesn't interfere with our children. It's tough to stand up to parents. Hopefully your wife can start imposing a few more boundaries, since it is now affecting your daughter. I had to yell at my father about his behavior over a boy doll that I got my son on Christmas morning. And OP replies, this isn't the first issue. I've already had to step in and draw a hard line already regarding this daughter on a different unrelated issue, but didn't feel it was relevant to this story and might colour my mother-in-law unfavourably. She does love her grandchildren, and she does help a lot in other ways. Sorry you're having to deal with this. Hopefully it gets easier for you. Posted by user Imaginary Topic 2127, titled, Am I the a-hole for not stopping my daughter from opening the shower door? So our shower has one of those multi-segmented doors that you slide across. My partner and I have a 13-month-old, very inquisitive daughter who likes to slide these doors across while we shower. When I shower, I simply put my big toe next to the sliding segment so our daughter cannot open it. It works well, I can still shower perfectly and no one is bothered. My partner gets very upset when they shower, and I refuse to come every time and physically remove our daughter, and especially so when I tell them to simply put her toe next to the door as I do, or close the outer bathroom door. My partner expects me to stop what I'm doing and entertain our daughter during shower time. Otherwise, our little one goes back to the bathroom. I feel like this could easily be resolved by closing the outer door when she's showering or using the toe trick. I don't see why I should have to change what I'm doing when there's an easy solution available. My partner thinks I'm being an a-hole. Am I the a-hole here? The fact that both of you guys refuse to look after your 13-month-old child while each of you showers tells me that you're not doing your duties as parents. I know I haven't had children of my own, but I feel like it's common sense to be watching your child, especially if it's in the bathroom while the other parent is trying to shower. Neither of you want to remove the child in the same situation that both of you face, and one of you is making more of a stink of it than the other. That doesn't automatically shift blame to one or the other. This is just the straw breaking the camel's back. Please sort yourselves out. Everyone sucks here. Now in the comments, Chaos and Dissonance says, everyone sucks here. If your daughter is trying to open the door when you shower, and is opening the door when your significant other is showering, then both of you are letting a 13-month-old run free without supervision? Yeah, that sounds like an issue. Also, stopping what you're doing to watch your daughter. You're a parent. Get used to it. Glad you said this. He is demanding OP to stop the daughter, but not doing the same for her. No support here, shake my head. My daughter would try to mess with her mum, just simply going to the bathroom, and I'd be beefing with the baby like, bruh, leave your mum alone, sit down and relax. You're the a-hole. Just watch the 13-month-old for a bit and let your partner take a shower in peace. We're not talking about something that takes a Herculean effort. What about when OP is in the shower? Hardly see the partner entertaining the baby and allowing the OP to shower in peace either. Treat others how you want to be treated yourself. Did OP ever ask? If it's treat people how you want to be treated, then that matters. The partner clearly asked while there is no mention of OP doing so. They said don't think it's as big of an issue as their partner does, so I'd be surprised if they did. You're the a-hole. I don't know what's up with this sub tonight and people who are just obsessed with doing nothing for their partners. Remove your daughter and close the outer door yourself if it pisses you off so much. I thought I was the only one who saw that. Seems like there's a pattern to posts, and many posts just get thrown in, even if the conflict might not be recent, but they make a post anyway. Probably so that the post gets noticed? Right now the theme is terrible baby names. Posted by user SyllabubEntire2038. Titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my brother if his kids go hungry? That's his problem, not mine. I'll call my brother Mike and my ex Tammy. 10 years ago, my then fiancé left me at the altar, which was the most humiliating thing I've ever been through, and went on our honeymoon with Mike. In her note, she told me she loved him since high school, but he was never interested, so she used me to get to him. She claimed to have loved me at some point, but after a drunken one-night stand, her and Mike knew they were soulmates. I'm not gonna lie, I was a wreck for about a year, and every time I tried to move forward that day, her mother tearfully handed me the notes, and everyone's faces would set me back. But time is a healer, and I've moved on. I disowned Mike and haven't spoken to the both of them in 10 years. For the first 2 years, my family hid that they had any contact with him, but then just basically sat me down one day and told me Tammy was pregnant and Mike was planning to marry her soon. So I needed to get over it because they were going to the wedding and the baby shower, etc. To be honest, I was hurt at why they went about it, but they're adults. I can't control what they do with their lives. I simply asked that they not invite me to anything that they would be at or expect me to forgive him, which they tried multiple times to make us talk. But after a year of no contact, they got the picture. Fast forward to last week, I heard Mike and Tammy are expecting their 5th child, and Mike's business went bankrupt last September. Then the chain that Tammy works at closed down, and they have zero savings apparently. My family have hinted that my wife and I should help them because we are the most financially successful for the kids' sake. My wife told them straight up no, and said tell Mike to look for a job, and we left. A while later, I got a call from an unknown number. I had a feeling who it was, but I just had to answer. From the moment I said hello, both Mike and Tammy started ranting about me needing to get over Tammy. My wife's a queen, saying I'm a piece of crap for punishing the kids for something that happened years ago. Finally, my brother asked me how does it feel to be the reason that his kids go hungry. So I told him that's his problem, not mine, and they started yelling and crying. So I just hung up, and since then, my whole family is calling me names for taking my anger out on Mike's innocent children. My wife said I should tell them all to go F themselves, and asked them to put their hands in their own pockets. Damn, your wife is one hardcore no bullshit woman, OP. I would be proud to stand by her side as she just deflects all of this from the get-go and takes absolutely no crap from anyone in your family here. She's bang on the money, and I'd keep going at denying everything your family throws at you here. Those two deserve nothing from you. This is so obviously just a quick cash grab using manipulation tactics that it's kind of cringe that they'd go as hard as they are to do that to you. Block them all until they get some common sense. You're not the reason their kids are going without food. They are. You are not the a-hole. Now in the comments, Miss Murderpants says, I really am in love with your wife, and I'm getting a 10 from her blazing shiny spine. She's right. Plus, she is truly all the family you need. Mike and Tammy made their choice 10 years ago. The thing is, Tammy knew what she was doing and could have ended it way before the ceremony. Coupled with the fact that she had a one-night stand, where your bro gets his culpability, the gross cherry on top, they took your honeymoon. I'd have sued her for that. I hope you got the ring back or dues for the cost. Oh yeah, might be good to mention to your family you already chipped in and state the above reasons if they never paid you back. Not the a-hole. Sky Diamond 01 says, I am loving the wife too, and she's absolutely correct, especially about them reaching in their own pockets. The audacity of Mike and Tammy calling and screaming like they have any moral high ground is laughable. Block them all and enjoy life with your real family. That kick-ass wife you have. Your wife is amazing. Mike did you a huge favor when he took Tammy off of your hands. I bet if all of your family members pitched in, they would be able to feed Mike's kids. Keep up that no contact. You're doing great, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole? And it sounds like you definitely upgraded when marrying your wife. Good on you, OP. Tell the rest of the family to help Mike if they're so concerned, and if you're really worried about the kids going hungry, maybe a call to CPS is in order. And OP says, I agree about the upgrade. Mora is the type of person that everyone needs in their lives. I don't know how my sorry ass ever got so lucky. Tell them the location to the nearest food bank and tell them that you donated food. That way, you're providing for them and others. Problem solved. Not the a-hole. I'm sorry that happened to you, but you dodged a huge bullet there. Your wife is a queen. Take her on a nice date. And OP replies, we are in lockdown, so I plan on doing a DIY pamper night for her. Gotta make sure my queen's nails look good. Also, make her some bomb-ass food, or order some in. Everyone loves when they don't need to prepare food. Already on that, got her favorite for being in the middle of all of this BS. Good. To be honest, I always take food and chores being done over nails and hair because I'm lazy and like food too much. Also, preheating her car for her before work if it doesn't have remote start and you're in a place that's still in winter. G'day there guys, and that's the end of today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed it and were entertained by today's bloody good content. As always, I want to do a quick shout out and a thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your beautiful faces and names will be up on screen right now. Haven't forgot about you guys, sorry I was taking a little break there. So yeah, if you see yourself, give yourself a pat on the back. If you want to be on this screen, there's links down to the description below where you can sign up and help support the channel and all future projects that I'm going to be doing on this one. With all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to. I'll see you in the next episode, and I do hope you enjoy it. Thank you.